Welcome to ABC Talk Show, and this is Sinha MA Sayeed anchoring this very talk show. Well, today we'll discuss many things and mostly Palestine-Israel conflict and political landscapes taking place very rapidly in Bangladesh. And to suit the very purposes, we have very dignified guests today. And let me introduce all the guests to you. On my left, on my right, above, is Mr. Sheikh Shahidul Islam, former minister and Secretary General Jatiya Party JP, Bangladesh. Mr. Mahmud Reza Chowdhury, political analyst and columnist. He is from America. Professor Dr. Zuglul Haider, political scientist and Jew analyst. He is from Canada. Well, let us start that talk through. And first of all, I will go to Mr. Zuglul Haider because you are a political scientist and you know so many things in the light of politics and political science. You know very well that Bangladesh is at the verge of election to the 12th parliament, and many things are taking place here. And what are your observations, Mr. Zuglul Haider?
Thank you so much, Honorable Moderator, Public Speaker Dr. Sinha MA Sayeed, Honorable former Education Minister Sheikh Shahidul Islam, who is very well-known and renowned personality for his he was a brilliant student as well as a brilliant minister, and he's very famous for his honesty. So thank you, Shahid Bhai. I'm very proud to be here with you. And finally, our American gentleman, I'm sorry, I'm unable to read your name here. If you can, Mahmud Chaudhary, sir, thank you so much for being here with us. Thing is that thank you for asking me the question, Dr. Sinha, about the ongoing political situation or political stalemate in Bangladesh. We all know that our election, as per schedule, election is knocking at the door. It is supposed to be by December or January, mid-January 2024 or December 2023. So election is knocking at the door, and our major players, major actors in Bangladesh, ruling Awami League and main opposition on the state, Bangladesh Nationalist Party, these two parties, they are still they are not ready for election. I believe that the ruling party is in a dilemma whether they will go for election under a caretaker government or under the ruling authority. Although they are, saying very loudly that election will be held under the incumbent government, under the incumbent authority, no matter what is the aftermath of it. But the reality is different. On the other hand, the main opposition, the Nationalist Party, is organizing huge mammoth public gathering in Bangladesh, in other parts of the country, and they are trying to, create momentum of the movement, and they are trying to, play a do or die game before December, I think before December 2023. So at this moment, actually, my observation so far, my observation is concerned, election is at a limbo. It's between caretaker and partisan. It's a limbo between caretaker and partisan government. So I believe that the end of the day, both parties will have to come to a conclusion that we shall have to have an election and we shall have to have a negotiation. At this point, what should be the negotiation? We heard from some corner that Prime Minister, I don't know how far it is true, Prime Minister is willing to go on leave during the election time. But I don't think this is going to give a solution, because the opposition is not doing their movement against Sheikh Hasina. They are doing their movement against Hasina administration. Their main argument is that during the last 15 years, the incumbent ruling authority has politicized everything, including civil administration, military bureaucracy, and all other machineries of the government. As a result, under this administration, Hasina is not a factor. Hasina is the person, individual. This movement is not against Sheikh Hasina Wajid. This movement is against Hasina administration. Her administration encompasses everything of the government. So at this point, if there is no solution about what shall be the nature of the government, whether it should be whether election will be under the ruling authority or it should be under an interim government. And if it is interim government, what should be the nature of the interim government? Is it interim government? The people interim government should be constituted with those elements who are representing in the parliament or outside the parliament. These are the main questions. But thing is that, for the safety, security, and stability of the country, we need to have a free, fair, and inclusive election, so that this election, we don't want to go back to 2014 and 2018 elections, because last two elections could not satisfy the aspirations and needs of the people of our country. We all know that. We accept it willingly or accept it reluctantly. We all accept it. Even the ruling authority, they do concede it, that last two elections are not very good elections, are not pleasant elections, because in one election 153 lawmakers are elected without any contest, without any election, without any participation, uncontested election, uncontested government. They could form the government without any election. 153 members are elected. Although they have some arguments that opposition boycotted the election. That's true. Opposition boycotted the election because the opposition thought that it will not matter if opposition would go to election under the Hasina administration. That's why they rejected the election. Similarly, 2018 election, it is called midnight election. So at this point, opposition, ruling authority is trying to organize election under their administration, and on the other hand, opposition is trying to put tremendous pressure on the government to resign and transfer power to a better government or interim authority, so that they can organize a free fair election. Because without interim authority, this ruling authority failed to prove itself that a neutral election is possible under them. Because in 2014, 2018, they terribly failed to organize a neutral and acceptable election. At this point, the government has totally eroded its credibility. This is one important thing. And second thing, our foreign donors, our foreign friends.
Professor Zuglul, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We'll come to you again.
So much. Maybe I will get some more time in the next.
Okay. Thank you.
Time, and I will talk then.
Mr. Mahmud Chowdhury, you are from America. Now the center of politics, Bangladesh context. What is your opinion overall, please?
Thank you, Dr. Sinha. And it's a great opportunity, and I'm honored to have this great chance to sit with three distinguished guests, General Ibrahim and Sheikh Shahidul Islam and Zuglul Haider. Especially, I'm taking 1 minute time outside your question that I would like to pay my humble respect and very much humble thoughts to General Ibrahim. First of all, because General Ibrahim's younger brother, Ishaq Bhai, was my senior in Adunji Cantonment College. And we and my another friend, Yash Karim, also passed away we are very close with Ishaq Bhai in Cantonment College those days. So I know you, sir, from that background. Your name I
Shukr
have heard.
Alhamdulillah. Shukr
Thank,
Alhamdulillah. Thank you.
th- Thank you, sir. And once I met in Dhaka in some occasion, so I mentioned about it. And I also pay my humble respect to Sheikh Shahidul Islam Bhai. Incidentally, I was talking with my another friend, Dr. MA Momen, this morning. He was ex-managing director of Bangladesh Biman and the civil servant. And he was telling me that in his experience, he saw one of the best education minister in Bangladesh so far. So I pay my humble salute to Dr. Shahidul Islam. And I used to also met with you in Dhaka in Gulshan Masjid. When I used to go visit Dhaka, I pray Juma in Azad Masjid. I used to introduce you through our Bablu Bhai, Jiauddin Bablu. He was also my senior, and through him I introduced you. Maybe those are very long days back stories, so I may not remember. Both you are my mostly senior, and your experience and expertise are much greater than myself. And Dr. Sinha is also my classmate. I'm in batchmate, and we used to represent Dhaka University SM Hall during our student time as a national debate competition and Daksha debate competition. The whole situation, as Sinha mentioned now, is in turmoil. It's not only Bangladesh, it's over the world. Any part of the world you can see is in turmoil situation. To come out from this situation, I believe, if I am wrong, General Ibrahim sir and also Chowdhury Islam Bhai may correct me, because in compare with their knowledge and experience, I am nobody. It is not the dress or the system or anything, but it is morally is a human nature and how you look into the matter. I remember in Daksu, we had one great debate competition. Sinha was also there. The subject was whether military rules is against the democracy or not. We versus Samsunar Hall, we debated in that program. And unfortunately, the subject was in favor of them, but we win the game, because we mentioned that this is not the dress only. This is also the human's nature, how you educated, how you've been cultured, how you've been taught, and how you actually capable for a leader. Leader is not a chair, it's a choice. So in that regarding, we have seen last 52 years, Ibrahim Bhai also, General Ibrahim also the freedom fighter, Sheikh Shahidul Islam Bhai also the freedom fighter. You know much better than me that what we have a plan and what we have a psychologically set up during our spirit movement of the liberation. Unfortunately, we have not achieved that yet. Since 72, we are in turmoil, this way or that way, because we don't get actually the leader to lead the country. The good people are out of the box and not good people are in the box. So I'm a student of sociology. My friend Sinha is a student of political science. So his views and his perspective is a little different than me. I believe that if any disease comes to your body, it's easy to, remove it or treat it very, say 5 months, 6 months, 1 year. But if society gets this kind of any disease, then it takes a long, long years to fix it. We are in that position now. The good people, the capable people, and the leaders are absent in our country's leadership last 52 years. So now the question is this, that what will happen next? Very hard. To my personal experience is this: whatever the change will come in short time, it will only face change, only regime change, not the mentality. Because the good people still have a very little opportunity and chance to come into the power and execute their wish and dream. That means the people's dream. Only they can cherish the people's dream, nobody else. You have that feelings in your heart that you actually love the country without any your personal gain. Those number of people are very limited and they are very powerless. So I should say rather, it's very hard to say what will happen next. Whatever it happen in favor of the present establishment or not in favor of the present establishment, nothing will change basically which we are expecting for and which we are fight for in 1971 war. That's up to the moment, and I'm ready to listen my seniors' views and their opinion. Thank you, Sinha.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mahmud as a Chowdhury. Well, by this time we have another guest here. He's Mr. Major General Retired Syed Muhammad Ibrahim Bir Pratik. He's the chairman of Kallayan Party, one of the rising parties in Bangladesh. Well, Major General Retired Muhammad Ibrahim, you listen to the two speakers. What are your studies? Please. Mute kora ase, mute.
Would you
We
please?
cannot listen to it.
Okay. Now I am audible.
Yeah.
Thank
You
you.
are now audible.
Okay.
And also visible.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum to everybody, and thank you very much to Dr. Sinha MA Sayeed. Sinha bhai, many thanks that you organized this talk show and we are all together. I'm grateful to Mr. Mahmud Chowdhury from USA, who recollected his memories with my younger brother Ishaq, who is late. He died about 40 years ago. And with Pias Karim, Professor Pias and Mahmud Chowdhury seem to have been together. I have never been on a talk show with Dr. Zuglul Haider, and I have been on a talk show a number of times with my elder brother, Sheikh Shahidul Islam, learned elder brother, a loving elder brother. Okay. And I would like to reconfirm an opinion passed here that among the many education ministers that various governments had, Mr. Sheikh Shahidul Islam definitely has a different and exceptional high place for his hard work, for his sincerity, and for his ability to bring some changes. And most importantly, education sector had to be freed from corruption. Okay, now coming back to the question Dr. Sinha MA Sayeed has posed in front of us. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I seek help from Allah so that we can pronounce things rightly and correctly. The situation in Bangladesh can never be discussed in isolation from the situation prevailing in the whole world. There used to be a very dear, well-known English sentence, which I'm sure most of us will confirm that yes, we have heard it. We have pronounced it ourselves many times. The sentence is, man proposes and God disposes. So everything that we can calculate, everything that we can imagine, it will be finally confirmed from Allah, the Lord, the Almighty Creator. That's a belief that we have. If I may recall, 1 year and 2 months or 3 months or 4 months ago, when the Ukraine war had not yet begun, Sinha bhai had again called me on a talk show. And no, he was a participant in a talk show with Face the People, with Sagar from Canada. And Sinha bhai said, no, the war will not take place. This is not going to come up like that. And I said, it's just going to happen in 7 days' time, less than 7 days' time. It actually happened on the 5th day of our talk show. So in Bangla, there is a saying, I hope the English speaking people can understand, Jhore bok more fokirer keramoti bare. It's not that I had a spiritual power or I had a magical power or I was a Gene Dixon looking to the crystal ball to forecast what is going to happen. It's just an analysis. So we did not analyze, or it never came into our thoughts that there is a conflict coming up in Palestine, in Gaza Strip. So the Ukrainians are worried what is going to happen to their fate. Russians are very happy that American attention will be diverted to Gaza now. China is very happy that attention of America will be diverted to Gaza now. Now in Bangladesh, some people may be worried that America has to make a partition. Part of its attention will go to Gaza, part of its attention will remain in Bangladesh. It is not that America as a big country, as a leading country in the whole world, cannot deal with more than 5 crises at a time. They have examples of having dealt with 5 crises at a time. But yet, human beings as they are, weak and fragile, they have their own misgivings, they have their own anticipations, they have their own weaknesses, and they remain worried what is going to happen. So in Bangladesh, as one of the citizens, I am worried. As a political worker, I am worried. As a Bangladeshi, thinking of the security of our own country, the sovereignty of our country, I am worried. Why I am worried is for a very simple reason that the political situation in Bangladesh now is volatile. The two camps, one camp in which I am a party, the other camp in which Shahidul Islam Bhai is a party, but Shahidul Islam Bhai is more of a gentleman participant now than it used to be 15 or 16 or 17, 20 years ago. Now both the camps are fairly rigid on their demand. Now as an ally of BNP, I will say BNP is very much right and I would like to stand by it. Now, as an ally of Awami League, Shahidul Islam Bhai may also say that I will stand by with the government. But a neutral analysis and neutral opinion would say that the crisis has not come suddenly. It has been brewing up for last 14, 15, 16 years. It has now reached a climax. It has to take it. It has to have a disposal now. You can't really sit on it finally. You have to really decide which way to go. Bangladesh is divided. The people of Bangladesh, in their opinion, is divided into two halves. One half is a big half, other is a smaller half. One half says we need a caretaker government, we need a change of regime. The other half says we don't need a caretaker government, we don't need a regime change. And among the well-wishers of Bangladesh, the countries are also divided into two groups. One group is very much keen to see a free, fair, democratic and inclusive election in Bangladesh. And the other group are not so very keen in pronouncing what they want. They are just, shall I say, using common diplomatic terminology, diplomatic terms. The people of Bangladesh will decide their fate. We are with whoever is the government, we will be with them. So having said all this, my conclusion is we have to really keep our fingers crossed. We don't know which way things will go. Should the government of Bangladesh under the present Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina remain rigid on ensuring an election under the present system of government, and we shall not go into election under them, then it's going to be a bloody situation. It's going to be a very chaotic situation. It's going to be painful for the people, and it's going to be a painful economy also, for the economy also. But should good sense prevail? Now, what I consider as a good sense, Mr. X, Mr. Y, Mr. Z may not consider it a good sense. He may think it is an offensive sense. So if should, in my opinion, good sense prevail in the present government leadership, Bangladesh will be saved from anarchy, Bangladesh will be saved from bloodshed, Bangladesh economy will be saved, people will have confidence in the country, and again maybe from January, February or March of next year, our economy will take a turn for the upward rise. The crisis in the reserves will maybe we'll be able to welcome. Now I would like to end my episode this time by saying, since your talk show is in English, you have definitely planned it for English-speaking people or who will understand it better in English rather than in Bangla. I must submit an explanation that how this crisis has come up. This crisis has come up because the present government of Bangladesh under Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina deliberately, calculatively made an amendment in the Constitution of Bangladesh. And the amendment says that the caretaker government system introduced in 1996 be abolished. They did it in the year 2011. And when they did it, they circulated it in the newspapers, in the media, in talk shows, everywhere, that we are doing it because the court has ordered us to do it. Now, now 5 years, 10 years later, 11 years later, 12 years later, we are 100% clear, without any doubt, without an iota of doubt, that the court did not tell the government to abolish this law. Now that the judgment or the verdict of the Honorable Supreme Court of Bangladesh delivered on the 11th of May by the then Chief Justice Mr. A.B.M. Khairul Haq is open to public reading. There's no doubt that the government has fooled the government. It is a fooling on the government. It is something like,
Ibrahim,
I must
you
conclude.
will come again, please. Shorten your
Okay.
speech. Yes, please.
Okay, so, okay, then I take the floor next time when you give me. That will be better. Maybe. Thank you very much, Inabai. We'll speak next time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now this is the turn for Mr.
Shahidul
Sheikh
Islam bhai.
Islam. You are a legend in the history of Bangladesh, and somebody already asserts that Sheikh Shahidul means an encyclopedia. Taking all this in together, and the speeches of the three giant speakers here, as a political leaders, politicians, and the guardian of the nation to some extent, different conclusion, different definition. What are your overall views on all these things?
Thank you very much, Dr. Sinha, for including for my inclusion into this talk show. And I am pleased to be with these gentlemen who are quite wise, and they are very academic, and they know too much about the subject in which we are now discussing. But we are the people on the ground. We are called politicians, but we academically we are not sound as they are, but we know the ground realities, and we act accordingly, and wishes of the people, and we take into consideration the sentiment of the people, and then we decide things. The situation in our country, as mentioned by my good friend Syed Mohammad Ibrahim, that it is volatile. It is not volatile. It is the election is drawing nearer. It's only 3 months away. 21st January is the date by which we'll have to finish the election process as per the Constitution. And the Constitution provides the scope for a free, fair election, which not only we demand, the countrymen demands, our friend demands, and also our development partners demands. So I think election this time will be free, fair, and it will reflect the people's opinion, no doubt. As I mentioned, the country is now run by a government which somebody questions their legality because of the election of 2014 and 2018. Now, I want to mention two things over here. The election of 2014 was held when BNP suddenly they pulled out of election and they boycotted. Naturally, when the competitor boycotts the election, and the other side gets a walkover, and Awami League got a walkover, and they got a huge number of MPs unopposed, almost 156. If I mention the number, it is 156 constituency, there was no election. Because BNP withdrew, and there is only one single candidate, and he returned unopposed. So in 2018, the election was held with the participation of all the political parties, and BNP formed an alliance with Dr. Kamal Hussain as its chief. And the election was held as per the provision of the Constitution. And on the day of election, on the day of election of the last election, Dr. Kamal Hussain, who led the front against the Awami League, after casting his vote in the Vikram School Center, he talked with the press and he said that election is held in a very peaceful atmosphere and it is fair and free. And the BNP Secretary General, Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir, he has cast his vote in Thakurga constituency, though he contested from Bogra, but his home is in Thakurga, his vote is in Thakurga, and he contested from Thakurga. He cast his vote and he said, it is 10:30 in the morning, and he said that election is held in a very peaceful atmosphere. It is a free and free election. When the thing proceeded after 12, these VNP people, they started withdrawing their candidature, and the election was questionable now. They are questioning the legality of the election, and they are telling many things, which I don't want to mention here, but they failed to provide any proof of election rigging or anything. Nor they didn't go to court that our election was rigged or something. They didn't challenge the election. Rather, those who were elected with BNP tickets and other Gonoforum tickets and other alliance tickets, first they said, we will not take oath. They took oath. Then they participated. They said, we will not go to parliament. We will boycott the parliament. They went to parliament and they participated in the proceedings for the last 4 years. And they just resigned a few days back. And many of them, they have applied for a land, Rajuk plot or something like this. And they have taken advantage of these duty-free cards and others which the MPs get. So what I can tell, these elections, they, when somebody gets defeated, they raise many objections in our country. And again, the caretaker concept, the thing which for which now people are fighting, this concept is a concept which we do not, as Jatiya Party, we do not share this concept. Because, these caretaker government, they heavily discriminated our party. In 1991, they arrested our chairman and thousands of our workers and leaders, including me, and they didn't allow us to participate in the election. In a way, other parties participated. So what we did, we participated, still we participated, and we got elected from 35 constituencies. And we are the third largest political group in the parliament then. And though our chairman was elected from 5 constituencies, he was not allowed to attend the parliament. And he was not freed. And in the election in 1996 also, this caretaker government, they didn't allow us to participate in a way. They allowed others. They allowed other political parties to speak in the national radio and television, and they give them extra privileges, both the opposition and the treasury bench. And what happened? For Jatiya Party, everything was banned. Even we were not allowed to open our office. The then BNP government always, they blocked our office and they didn't allow us to work as a political party like other political parties. So we are not in favor of this caretaker government, because we think when there is a caretaker government, some political forces are discriminated, and the politicians of every country, they trust their other politicians for conduct of election. We politicians must learn that we must have trust in other political opinions, other political parties, and uh, few unelected people. What happened, you know? This caretaker government is a very weak government because they are not elected; they are selected, handpicked. And what happened? The BNP government, they enacted a law by which the tenure of the caretaker government should not exceed 90 days. What happened in 2008? The caretaker government continued for 2 years, 2 long years. What happened during these 2 years? They arrested our political leaders.
Mr. Sheikh Shahidul Islam, you shorten your speech, please. We will come to
Yeah,
you again.
they arrested our political leaders, both BNP chief and the Awami League chief, and they hired Professor Yunus, the Nobel laureate, to form a political party. And Professor Yunus tried to form a political party, but rather he didn't get enough support from the people who encouraged them, and then he declined and he abandoned his idea. He didn't join politics. And there was in the political circle, there was a talk about -2. What are this theory, -2 theory? That Sheikh Hasina and Khaleda Zia, both of them should be excluded from politics and a new force should emerge. In this way, this entire situation went to an extent that BNP themselves, they made this caretaker system ineffective. The retired Chief Justice is supposed to be the head of the caretaker government. When Mr. K.M. Hassan declined, they are supposed to ask the next retired Chief Justice whether he agrees to head the government. But President Yazuddin himself becomes the chief advisor. He is the president, and again he is the chief advisor. This cannot go. So I
Well,
think this
Mr. Sheikh Shahidul Islam,
concept of caretaker
shorten your
government.
speech. We will come to you again.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Zuglul Haider, you listen to the speeches of the three giant speakers here. And you know very well, recently, U.S. Secretary of State, Mr. Jari Akhtar, so he made a very clarion call to the government through the foreign secretary that all the parties should get involved in dialogue. At the end of the crisis, at the end of fomenting the crisis, the Himalayan crisis are now there. U.S. government never speak of dialogue, but this is the first time they are requesting all the political parties to get into dialogue. What are the very purposes of this initiative from America, Mr. Haider?
Thank you so much, Honorable Moderator. And at this point, I want to take the opportunity to felicitate Honorable General Syed Mohammad Ibrahim bin Pratik for being with us. It's a nice opportunity for me to be with him and all other learned guests here. And actually, maybe General Ibrahim, he doesn't know me, but I know him first of all as a politician. But when I was a professor of Russian University, he used to send me a letter from Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam Research Institute, and I used to get that one, and that is how I know him. So thank you very much, General Ibrahim. for being with us. Anyway, right now, I just want to attend your questions. The questions actually came from General Ibrahim, came from Mohammad, Mahmud Chowdhury, and definitely politician Sheikh Chowdhury. Let me start from Sheikh Chowdhury. What uh, Honorable Sheikh Chowdhury said is true, but there is some truth behind the truth. He didn't say the truth behind the truth. Thing is that we all know that the right now the crisis we are now facing, this is the product of the abolition of cartel government. There is no doubt in it, because cartel government, it was a settled matter. After long 10 years of movement against General Ershad's military rule, we got a cartel government through the mass upsurge of 1990s. It was a settled matter. There is a national consensus. And uh, Honorable Sheikh Chowdhury raised that in 1991, Jatiya Party was not given equal opportunity. That's true. That's true, because Jatiya Party was the immediately ousted political party, and there are lots of grievances against General Ershad. It was it was not only difficult, it was dangerous for the then head of the cartel government to give equal chances to General H.M. Ershad. Even people at large, they were preparing to go to the cantonment to pick him up. So at that point, from the wrath of the people, I think that cartel government saved General Ershad without allowing him to come to the public domain. This is one thing. Second thing, uh, the caretaker under this caretaker government, and he said, Honorable Shahidul said that caretaker government is the solution. This is the elected government, but there is a national consensus. Does it not mean that national consensus mean is kind of a referendum? It's undeclared referendum. We came to the conclusion that we shall have an interim caretaker government to conduct the election, and the results of the elections under the caretaker government more or less was fine. All of us accepted the election results under the caretaker government. So that is the reason why, that is the rationality of the caretaker government. There was no violence in the election. Election results are acceptable, with some very, 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 very little, opposition. And they said this is opposition for the sake of opposition. Somebody said it is a caretaker government election rigging was quote unquote shukto karchupi. Other party said sulo karchupi. This was just allegation for the cause of allegation. This is nothing. I believe that caretaker government, it was the well accepted formula, and everybody accepted it, and it was undisputed and settlement. But last time, our existing present government, Honorable Sheikh Hasina, what she did, she abolished the caretaker system from the constitution.
She didn't abolish. It was the High Court which
government.
declared it void.
Of course, her government. Her government means government court even includes the government too. Court itself, executive, legislative, judiciary, means everything. Government. So this is how is abolished. Why did she abolish it? She sensed it that if you are under a caretaker government, you have to be you have to go to the people. You have to show your accountability. You have to show your work, and then people will mandate you. Because under the caretaker administration, everybody will get equal opportunities. That is the reason. So at this point, she and her government sense that it will not be easy to win over the election if it is not under the partisan government. The answer is very straight, and any sensible person can understand it. Any sensible person can understand it. Because in the last 3 elections, nobody questioned the results of cartel government. Now,
Professor Zuglul,
second, just about the American.
I request you to dwell upon the message. Questions. What about the dialogue?
Well, that's what I'm coming to. She is the dialogue. Afin, she said that I heard 2-3 foreign ambassadors' speech 2-3 days ago. All of them, they're saying the same thing. What America can do, American agenda in Bangladesh is to promote democracy, human rights, and that about the forms of democracy, about the nature of democracy, about the system of government, everything shall be determined by the people of Bangladesh. That's why they are trying to encourage all political parties, civil society members to participate, to force the politician to compel the politician to come to a dialogue so that they can come with a acceptable and conclusive solution. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much. Mr. Mohammad Reza Chowdhury, you know very well that there are so many rumors, concoctions, motivations, there's so many things, and Facebook world, Twitters, and online, and even the social medias are flooded with all these things. And recently, there is a big rumor in the print and social media that U.S. government has passed a message to our government through Afrin Akhtar. The government should resign before November 3rd. What is your explanation? Can
Thank you, Dr.
US do it?
Thank you, Dr. Sinha, for asking this very important question. First of all, in any democracy, no other foreign country or friendly country can dictate the other governments to resign or to stay or whatever it is. It's a People's Republic of Bangladesh. Whatever happened in our country, that will be decided by our people, period. Number second is, I have a doubt about that, whatever you mentioned, that Jeffrey Akhtar said that the present government has to resign by November 3rd. What is the basis? Where from this news come? And is there any evidence? Who listen these things? So I think these are all propaganda. I don't think so, as far I am living in this country, that America or American government can say something like that to other government. You have to resign by this and that. No. Our government, whoever it is not elected by the America or CIA or FBI. It is elected or selected by our own people. Our people could be wrong. That's a different story. But I don't think so that America or America, any official says this. Including that thing, I would like to say one thing very clearly, that there is no history, especially in the recent history, that America government or America has helped to develop or to grow or to encourage any other country's democracy. They only interest for their own interest, for their financial interest, for their military interest. That's all other country like that. But there is a lot of instance that America has break the democracy of other country. If you see the recent history, you will see that, because I was listening the lecture or speech of President Joe Biden last night. It looks like me that he's giving, he's another Israel president probably, is giving a lecture that everything giving you the green signal, whatever you do, you can do. Only Palestine people need to have a patience. So in Bangladesh also, I believe that this kind of things, if it is true that American official says this is totally wrong, unethical, and injustice. That's my point. Thank you.
Thank you very much. General Retired Mohammad Mohammad Ibrahim Bir Pratik. You are also a chairman of a political party who is allied with BNP, Chot. You know very well that the conflict between Israel and Palestine, there are so many statements, so many sayings and observations. But BNP, being stalwart of the Bangladesh Jatiya, has not yet opened its mouth on the issue. What are the reasons? Do you agree with the BNP? Mr. Ibrahim.
We cannot
Mr.
hear
Ibrahim.
you. Unmute.
Yeah.
Let me slice away the time you will allot me, because it's so important that it remains on record. This is a, you can read the name of the booklet. It is the publication of the judgments of the High Court and the Supreme Court. I'm just reading from page 16 of this book, and then I'll finish it and go to your question. The short judgment made on the 11th of May, 10th of May 2011. 10th of May 2011 reads as follows in English. It is hereby declared, 1. The appeal is allowed by majority without any order as to costs. 2. The Constitution 13th Amendment Act 1996, Act 1 of 1996, is prospectively declared void and ultra vires the Constitution. Mark the word prospectively. 3. The election of the 10th and the 11th Parliament may be held under the provisions of the above mentioned 13th Amendment on the age-old principles, namely, these in Latin, quod alias non est licitam, necessitas licitam facit. English meaning of that Latin saying, that which otherwise is not lawful, necessity makes it lawful. Again, another saying in Latin, salus populi suprema lex. English meaning, safety of the people is the supreme law. And another Latin saying, salus republicae est suprema lex. Safety of the state is the supreme law. The Parliament, however, in the meantime, is at liberty to bring necessary amendments, excluding the provisions of making the former Chief Justices of Bangladesh or the judges of the Appellate Division as the head of the non-party caretaker government. The judgment in detail would follow. In paragraph, subparagraph 3, it said the election of the 10th and 11th Parliament may be held. We asked to dozens of lawyers, when the Supreme Court or the High Court in their judgment say may be held, what does it mean? All lawyers had said it is a mandatory order. It may be held is only a courtesy to say. Now, we have heard it in English language. Supreme Court said something and the Parliament did something else. It was all intentionally done so that the government is in control of the machinery, so that they can control the election and the election result. Thank you very much to that. I go to your question on the Palestine issue. The Palestine issue is very crucial. Now, two things have happened on that subject. Mr. Mahmud Reza Chowdhury indicated partly. One is America is a party in the Palestinian issue directly, because America is a great ally of Israel. And in my view, and in the view of millions and millions and millions of people in the world, Israel is on the wrong side, is on the aggressive side. But for geopolitical reasons, for reasons best known to America, America has taken the side of Israel. In Bangladesh, America has taken the side of democracy. And America wants democracy to prosper in Bangladesh, although Mr. Mahmud Reza Chowdhury has contested that feeling or that expectation. Now, in Bangladesh, people are looking forward to a helping hand or a shall we say, supportive hand from the worldwide democratic countries, of which America seems to be in the pioneer. Now, if on the contrary, the very pioneer of democratic world is undemocratic on the issue of Palestine and the Gaza, so it's a very crucial decision. Now, Islamic parties in Bangladesh have said what they wanted to say, and they'll continue to say. I, for the sake of to meet the satisfaction of my conscience, 7 days ago at 11:50 p.m., I went live on Facebook to say this is what I feel. Now, why BNP has not come forward with loud and lengthy statement in favor of the Palestine issue or against the Palestine issue, I really cannot answer it. I'm sure Sinha MA Sayeed, you will pardon me for my inability to either defend or offend BNP, because that's a major political party and I have no access to their thought process. I have access to what they say and what they want us to do. My feeling is you are in the horns of a dilemma, what to do and what not to do. what to do and what not to do. Like for that matter, just take it. It's not an issue you have raised. I'm raising the Rohingya issue in Bangladesh. Give it a thought and give me an answer. Who has caused this crisis, which is so much of a pressure on Bangladesh economy, Bangladesh environment, Bangladesh land, and the security issues in the southeast of Bangladesh? Apparently, most people will say it is Myanmar. I will say that is on the face of it. Who is behind Myanmar in doing it? Somebody else. It's another superpower. So we in Bangladesh don't take the name of the superpower. The Bangla phrase is Bhasurer naam nite lojja lage. So I am just giving this to satisfy you on the answer on the question of the Palestine issue. Now, Sinha bhai, to talk back on only the Palestine issue, we took part in discussions on Kosovo crisis, on the Bosnia-Herzegovina crisis. Our people come forward on the street on the issues of Kashmir, on the issues of Ethiopian Muslims. Our people have no barrier in sympathizing with the crisis. It is only the leadership who take their time to decide which way to go and which way not to go. Now, I would like to appeal through your talk show to the English-speaking people that we may have to think outside the box. In other words, there is a very bad precedence, very sad and bad precedence in American foreign policy. For us to note, kindly do not misunderstand me, kindly do not draw conclusions beyond reason, but I'm just quoting an incident because I was a first-hand observer of the situation at that time. I'm talking of the 20th or the 21st of December, 1989. I was Brigadier Ibrahim, a student of the United States Army War College in Carlisle Barracks, Pennsylvania. We were 36 foreign students taking part in that War College class of 1990. The class began in July 1989 and finished in June 1990. It was the Christmas break. So during the Christmas break, all the foreign students were earmarked to go for a study tour of 4 countries in Central Asia and South America, Central America and South America, Panama, Guatemala, Honduras, and Venezuela. On the very morning that we were supposed to take off from Harrisburg International Airport, the trouble came. What was the trouble? America postponed our visit by 12 hours. And at the end of 12 hours, they gave the reason why. And only then we came to know what happened. If you recall, the president of Panama in those days was Mr. Daniel Noriega. He was alleged to have been a party to drug smuggling. And America had carried out a military operation on the capital city of Panama, landed troops on the rooftop of the presidential palace, garroted it, surrounded it, captured him, made him a captive, brought him to the American soil, and then saw him through the legal process. I do not support of this action. I don't support this action, nor can I ever support an action by a foreign country to pick up somebody else who is the head of a state. But I'm just saying that kindly think beyond the box when your interest, when your own safety is absolutely thrown last moment, your back is to the wall, you have no place to even go back. Then different things happen, accidental things happen. So in Bangladesh, what is American interest is purely geopolitical. What is Chinese interest is purely geopolitical. What is Indian interest is not only geopolitical, but also economic and cultural. I have made a difference between America and China on the one side and India on the other side. So the greatest stakeholder in the political scenario of Bangladesh is India, followed by America and China. Now, we therefore need to have our heads cool, because after all, it is our country. And for I, as a man at the age of 74 years and 10 days, or 74 years and 15 days, I have every reason to say that I am worried about my country. I am worried about the security of my country, about the safety of my own people. I just read to you the words written by Mr. Justice A.B.M. Khairul Haq, where he said, whatever is illegal now or unnecessary now, it becomes necessary because of the safety of the people and safety of the country. And responding to what Mr. Shahidul Islam said, my elder brother, dear brother, respectable brother, in the year 1990, when President Hussein Mohammad Ershad had to resign. It was the consensus of all the political alliances opposed to President Ershad that he will hand over power to a caretaker government. And it is because of the caretaker government. I'm now giving an evidence, not in front of a court, but through your talk show to the people of the world. What happened in December 1990? It is only because of the Chief of Army Staff General Nuruddin and the CGS Major General Mohammad Abdul Salam and the Director of Military Operations Brigadier General Ibrahim that safety of General Ershad was made ensured. The safety of Jatiya party to the extent possible was given. The sentiments of the people were so much against that party at that time that even giving them an opportunity to take part in election, President Shahabuddin had to do a lot of hard work. Now, this is not 1990, this is 2023. Awami League is not Jatiya party. Therefore, we need to think, how can you give an assurance or build confidence in the minds of Awami League that handing over power does not necessarily mean danger for them. On the contrary, handing over power means safety of the people, safety of the country, and safety of the political parties. I end here because if I continue talking, I can do it for 59 minutes more. But I must give respect, I must give the opportunity to my brothers who are here, particularly Shahidul Islam Bhai, so that we can hear his wise opinion again. Thank you very much, Dr. Sinha MA Sayeed, and thank you, Mr. Mahmud Reza Bhai and Dr. Zuglul Haider Bhai. Thank you so much. Shahid Bhai, আপনার জন্য floor খোলা, the open floor for you. Listen to your advice, your guidance now.
Well, Mr. Sheikh Shahidul Islam, General Ibrahim has opened the floor for you.
Yeah.
And I do agree with him. There is no question to you, but floor is yours. Please.
Actually, I participate in this type of talk shows because it is I think I just take it as a process of learning. There are quite learned people over here, academicians over here, and we can learn things from them too. So, so far this year, I'm not satisfied with the explanation of General Ibrahim regarding the silence of BNP in the Hamas-Israel conflict. No Muslim, wherever he is in this world, cannot remain silent after this brutality. And now the other Western powers, they have joined this Israel in the task of genocide, in the task of this inhuman bombing on hospitals, schools, cathedrals, everywhere in Gaza. So, and they are obstructing these humanitarian aids inflow into the area. We are with the Palestinian brothers, and it is not today that we are supporting them. When no Arab country recognized Bangladesh, Bangabandhu was going to non-aligned summit in Algiers, and he made a stopover in Bahrain. During that time, he was asked a question by a Arab journalist that whether you stand by the Palestinians. Mohammad clearly said, recognition or no recognition, we stand by our Palestinian brethren. So, what I say that those who are fighting wars, I am not including them in this dialogue. I want to say the children over there, women are there, and there are old people over there who are not armed. They should be given enough opportunity to survive. Israel has blocked entire Gaza. They are not allowing the humanitarian aids to enter Gaza. They are not allowing the hospitals to run. They have stopped electric supply, and they are doing what we can say crime against humanity. It can a suit can be filed against them in the ICC in Hague. So it is our duty. Today we are observing. Tomorrow we will be observing the National Day of Mourning for Palestinians, which our Prime Minister government has declared through the Prime Minister. We should stand united against the inhuman activities of Israelis in Palestine, in Gaza, and maybe there are some Hamas fighters who are armed, but most of these people are unarmed, who are now being slaughtered, who are now being subject to bombing, and most of them, over 3,000 of them are children and women. We condemn this Israeli action, and we strongly demand that United Nations should act and ensure safety of the civilian population and ensure their food and other daily necessary supplies. Thank you very much.
Well, Mr. Sheikh Shahidul, thank you very much for your very animate discussion. Mr. Ibrahim, you are supposed to tell something. Well, go on.
Please unmute.
Government of Bangladesh has declared the mourning day tomorrow, and the national flag will be hoisted half-mast. It's an excellent decision by the government of Bangladesh, and we thank the government of Bangladesh. But I just wanted to draw the attention that politicians in our country, politicians in various less developed countries, third world countries, weigh various things. I am not supporting what BNP is doing is good. I am neither saying what BNP is doing is bad. I'm neither saying what Army League is doing is good in respect of Rohingya crisis or what Army League is doing is bad. I'm only saying the political parties take their decision, keeping this in view. 8 years ago, I myself took part in at least 5,000 strong procession under our leadership from the Andar Killa Jama Masjid in the Chittagong city for 1.5 kilometers in favor of the Palestinians under a banner, Palestinian banner. Because at that time I was not a part of this ally and I didn't have any limitations. But on my own, as I would like to say, and support what Syed said, that people of Palestine, one thing, and Hamas is another thing. I strongly vow that there may be two states, one called Palestine, one called Israel. Decision taken in the year 1948 be implemented, and Jerusalem be made an international city open for the believers of the three major faiths and all people of the world, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. So this is the only way. But supporting only one country called Israel and thinking of the security of only Israel is not only human, is contradictory to humanitarian feelings and does not also support the geopolitical ideas of various countries, like at least like us. And the world is divided on Palestine issue. Russia and China on the one side, and America and the Western Europe is on the other side. So the world is gradually becoming divided and divided and divided, like we in Bangladesh are gradually becoming more and more and more and more divided. So where lies the unity? I don't know. But in Sinha Sayeed, you may be able to throw some light, and other brothers like Mr. Mahmud, Reza, Chowdhury and Dr. Zuglul Haider may be able to throw some light and say that maybe this is the way. I appeal to the people of Bangladesh, I appeal to all the senior political workers of Bangladesh that the interest of Bangladesh must come first. The interest of the political parties may come second, and the interest of individuals must come last. Thank you very much, Sinabai.
Thank you very much, General Ibrahim. Miss Professor Zuglul Haider, General Ibrahim talked in a very diplomatic way. At the same time, political diplomacy applied here. Well, it is up to him to decide and the things he's likely to emphasize. You know very well there are so many resolutions on Palestine, like the UN resolution, Oslo Accord, Abraham Accord. At the same time, you say Camp David. So many things are there. So, how do you view that BNP is not even opening its mouth in favor of the Palestinian people? Once upon a time, it did it, but for the time being, it is keeping mum. What are the reasons? What are the mysteries? Please.
Well, Mr. Moderator, thank you so much. Actually, we do have a national consensus about Palestine. We all, both government and opposition, we all support the true cause of Palestine. And we strongly, as an individual, I strongly condemn the Israeli atrocities in Palestine, and I believe that the innocent inhabitants of Gaza, they simply do not deserve this kind of atrocities, this kind of inhuman behavior, this kind of uh, military action against the innocent civilians. Now, why BNP is silent? Why Awami League is a little bit loud? The reason is just, in my view, the reason why the government supported the Hamas cause in a louder way. The same reason BNP is little bit mild or slow, because this is the thing. This is the thing that there's only it's a political matter. It's a the way they want both party wants to gain from this issue. Of course, both party. I believe this at least on this issue, both parties they do have consensus. They do hate the Israeli aggression atrocities, but some are loud, some are not loud. That is there is the political reason. They want to get both parties want to gain benefit from this issue. Now, just my last bit, one thing I'll be guilty if I don't mention it. This morning, actually, I was having a conversation regarding election in Bangladesh with one of my friends. His name is Mr. Alima. So he was giving me lots of points and all these things, and he was pointing on main issues. In the meantime, while we were discussing, his wife gave him some clues. Why don't you tell your friend to discuss? So many brand new cards are being given to UNOs and DCs. Under this UNOs and DCs, is an impartial election possible? This kind of under the distribution of such patronage, actually, a free, fair, and impartial election is not possible under a partisan government. This is my last comment. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zuglul Haider. Mohammad Chowdhury, having a sociological background, at the same time, you are a columnist. You are talking from different bias to bias. So you know very well Mr. Zuglul Haider and Mr. General Ibrahim. They try to hide a thing which was not in the past. Whatever reasons, I don't know. But thing is that it is a political reasons. Both of them asserted political reasons. Maybe in Bangladesh, there is a political reasons on Palestine. This is the first time in the history of Bangladesh. Because the presence of US in Bangladesh and American interest in Bangladesh already carried by BNP and other political parties in Bangladesh. And my personal perception is that BNP at this very moment and other political parties, they don't like to annoy US government at this very moment. Maybe in future, whenever we're talking about that, Awami League is with India. Mind it. But this time clear, BNP and other allies are with American Western Bloc. They don't like to create any tension within their mind, as Awami League did in case of India. So, what are the difference between the two parties? Because they are from the standpoint, they are playing from their own standpoint. How do you view these things?
Now, there are two brilliant academicians here. I want to learn from them. I want to ask them one question. Can they mention a name of a country in which America has instituted democracy? Can they mention the name of a country in which United States have helped to restore democracy? They are political scientists and sociologists. If they can, I can enrich my knowledge.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Yes, Mr. Reza, go on.
Thank you, Sheikh Shahidul Islam Bhai, with due respect. And I probably mentioned that before, that America has no history and no instance that they help to raise any country's democracy or people representation. They're always in favor of their own narrow interest, their financial interest, their military interest, Give me one example. You have seen in 2016 when ex-president Donald Trump win in the election. Before that, he was very much abusing of the Muslims. But the moment he became a president, his first state visit was in Saudi Arabia. He's not in favor of Saudi Arabian peoples, but in favor of the business. He was a businessman. So he make a big military deal or arms deal with Saudi Arabia. So I definitely says with due respect that no, there is no instance that America has helped to develop in any country's upliftment of the democracy. The second point, as far as my poor knowledge, I may be wrong in some extent, you may correct me. The second aspect is this, that why in this time Awami League is little bit louder about Palestine issue and the other party is not that much louder as they're supposed to be, as General Ibrahim Bhai also mentioned. It is also a politics. It is not that Awami League is very much in favor of or very much in love for the Palestinian people. The Awami League little bit raise their voice because they are anti-USA. They don't like where the USA will support, that they will not be feel that much, instinct to support the same route, as well as the BNP. They're also the same, because BNP think that, well, they're getting support by the American government, so they don't want to make any annoy to the American government. The unfortunate part of this too, what we have learned, especially I learned, that we depend still after 52 years of our liberation, we depend still for the foreign parties and the foreign countries to establish our rules or our democracy or our what will be our system in our country. Sometime with Saudi Arabia, sometime with India, sometime with Russia, sometime with the United States of America. You just name it. We are not, unfortunately, is strong enough to stand our own feet. This is our failure. I mean, if you see it since 1972, is the same. So I think the Western culture about about the Palestine issue, if you read Professor Edward Said's one book, Covering Islam, you can also get it, that how they promote this propaganda, as well as if you read the Orion Falash's, the big historical book, Interview with the Power, who hold the power in the world, you will see how the whole politics game is playing on the ground. But unfortunately, as I said, as a student of a sociology, that I always feel that as long as our culture and our people are not walking in the right path, and if we are not humble to each other, respectful to each other, as General Ibrahim knows, as Sheikh Islam Bhai knows, how we grew up in our generation and your generation, how each people we respect each other. So that thing has gone in last 52 years. So dialogue is also becoming impossible matters, because we don't have respect for each other. We don't have any humbleness in each other. We have seen one dialogue with two our leaders. One is Sheikh Hasina, one is that time opposition, the Begum Khaleda Jia. What happened? They dialogue with a national big important issue on television, on camera. And one side they show that other side how much they can be ugly. So this is not create the good and the positive situation for dialogue to each other. So as I go for Dr. Sinha's question, and my understanding is this, that culturally and historically and sociologically, we are far behind than to stand in our own feet for pro people, not pro party, no, not pro leader. We dialogue that country is the bigger than party and the party leader, but we practice the leader is a bigger than everything, even my own father. So this type of negativity is grown not actually recently. It has grown for the many years. So I am also a learner. I am also like to know, because when the politicians talk, they talk for their own some narrow interest. But we who we are not, engaged with the politics, do not understand that much politics. But we try to feel that what, because I mean, I am a people, is a very ordinary people, so I can feel what other ordinary people can say. So I speak from that point of view. I observe the politics, I read the politics, but I am not an activist to the politics. So my views will be a little bit different than the politician and others. But unfortunately, Sheikh Shahidul Islam Bhai, and especially General Ibrahim, I salute you, I respect you, I honor you, and I hope people like you, if you become in the leadership chair in front of the people, people can learn and we can be saved from much, much turmoil that we are in. But unfortunately, or by system or anything else, that situation or that place is not exist in Bangladesh. Here is our problem with BNP, with Awami League, with Jatiya Party, with everybody. This is the problem, is this: we don't see through the glass of the sociological point of view or society's point of view. We see from our power point of view, who will be the great, our name will be much more greater, in the front of the TV camera and others. So we are unfortunate, Ibrahim Bhai and Sheikh Shahidul Islam Bhai, that we are not getting you in front of the leading line. But that's why the poor people and poor, by knowledge or by thinking, they are now became our master. Once we read a book, General Ayub wrote, "Friends, not masters." But in fact, we are not friends. Our political parties are not friends. They are actually the master. So as soon as we can remove the masters, we can be friends to each other. Thank you very much.
Mohammad, you take my number.
I fully subscribe the view
only for 2 minutes.
expressed by Mr. Mahmud Reza Chowdhury. Mr. Mahmud Reza Chowdhury, because on the other day also, in a television talk show in our country, I was telling all this. The entire society in our country now is a polluted one, and we cannot put ointment on a body when the whole body is in pain.
I do agree.
And therefore, what is required is a renaissance. We require a renaissance, and we require this society, which is now rotten one, is to be wholly overhauled.
True.
Otherwise, by this treatment, small treatment, this election and other things, it will not solve the problem ultimately.
100%. I agreed 100%, Sheikh Bhai. Salute.
So we require a renaissance, and let us end this talk show with a call for a renaissance.
Yes.
Can I just add something?
Yes.
To this question? The thing is that in response to Shahid's question, whether America promote democracy or not, I will say yes, they do promote democracy. That is imperial democracy. That is imperial democracy.
Not the democracy of
not the people democracy.
Gettysburg Address.
Yeah, in the post-colonial society, here as my Mahmud Chowdhury Bhai, he knows that in a dependent, we are living in a dependent world. In a dependency relations, we are related with America like center-peripheral relations.
Well, thank you very much, you all, and
thank you so much.
We are at the end point of the talk show, and before that, I would like to request General Ibrahim. Please, what is the message for 1 minute only?
1 minute is hell of a long time if I can deliver a good message, and it is no time if I don't have anything in my stomach or brain. My only appeal is love the people, have faith in Allah. This country belongs not only to me or the older generation, it belongs to the younger generation. And they are 66% of our population. Age below 40 is 66% of our population. Therefore, I will call upon all political leaders, all sane people, to please rise above partisan feelings and give an opportunity to Bangladesh to make a fresh beginning. It is the time. My submission. This exactly is not the same Bangladesh we looked forward in 71. It is Shoaib Bhai also knows, Qadi Siddiqui knows, Kamal Hussain knows, anyone who took part in the war knows 2023 Bangladesh is not what we exactly looked for. It is somewhat little different. There's so much of things that we did not envisage, which has come up in our society, in our polity. So let us make a vow to make a second beginning to save this country, to save these people. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.
Mr. Sheikh Shahidul Islam, all the three speakers spoke very high of you, and everybody believes that politicians like Mr. Sheikh Shahidul Islam at this very moment is lost, almost lost in the history of Bangladesh. But they want to revive the image of Mr. Sheikh Shahidul Islam. Revival of Sheikh Shahidul Islam is a call of the time. What is your message?
My message is clear. Just now I mentioned about it. We are old people who will not survive probably to see that. We require a renaissance. We require a new beginning, as told by some other people also. This society, its basic thing is now missing. We are not sympathetic to each other. We are not friendly to each other. Again, there should be a renaissance, there should be a united move by the people, and we require a leader like Bangabandhu, who united us for liberation, and this time, these new leaders will unite the country for establishing certain values, social values and political values. If we can do that, and the new generation will participate, and probably the country will be safe and it will reach a new height. Thank you.
Thank you very much, you all. And before concluding the talk show, let me summarize what you people spoke here. Viewers, all of the three, four talk speakers here, they are very high of the politics of Bangladesh. At the same time, they feel very much from the very bosom of their mind that Bangladesh is not at the right stage because chaos, conflict, and the mistrust between and among the political parties, among the social elements, among the people, among the families, everything's are rotten totally. And from this standpoint, Mr. Sheikh Shahidul Islam, he is now dreaming a renaissance to overhaul the whole society, whole system, whole values and customs and traditions, because to suit with the move of 21st century, we need a new Bangladesh, golden Bangladesh. And for this golden Bangladesh, we need a renaissance. And let us pray to Almighty Allah. This renaissance may come very soon in the political firmament of Bangladesh. And thank you very much all, and meet you again the next talk show. Thank you.